Welcome back, superstars. We're here to discuss the dangerous archetypes of finance. And we're here with my friend, my colleague, my client, superstar expert in finance and financing, Keith Kohler. And he is the expert. He has the Financing Man retreat. No, what's your retreat called?
It's called Making the Numbers Work for You.
Making the Numbers Work for You. And this is a big part of the content that he shares in that retreat. Tell us, Keith, what are these dangerous archetypes of finance?
Yeah, the dangerous archetypes of finance are behaviors.
Okay.
Essentially, how you choose to manage your business finances. And the way I came up with them is I started understanding money stories. Mm-hmm. And then I saw how that was showing up in limiting beliefs regarding finances. And then the next evolution was, okay, now that I understand all that context, what are really the behaviors I'm seeing?
Right.
How do people manage their finances or not?
Okay.
And
so these are basically collections of behaviors that hold people back.
Yes.
We're not talking about the fabulous archetypes.
No. We're talking about the dangerous archetypes.
Like the things that get in the way from somebody growing their business, something that might cause bankruptcy or collapse of the business.
That essentially cause risk.
Okay, they create risk.
Yeah, risk. Downside risk. You could run out of money. You could have surprises. You could go out of business and not even know you're right on that cliff about to go over the edge.
Okay.
So that's why I call them the dangerous archetypes of finance. You ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, let's go. So the first one is called the minimalist.
Okay.
The minimalist. The minimalist is that person who may have a bookkeeper, has their CPA, and may even have some level of a rhythm with which they get financial statements done on a regular basis, maybe monthly, maybe quarterly. Why do I call them the minimalist? Because they get it, and what do they do with it? Nothing. Goes in a drawer, never opens the email, never reviews it with their bookkeeper. Or even if they do review it with the bookkeeper, they're just getting by.
They're getting
right?
by.
They have it's almost like a heart chart, right? Here's your baseline rhythm.
Okay.
But you're not doing anything extraordinary with it, right? You're missing out on the opportunity to use it effectively for decision making.
Okay.
So that's the minimalist.
All right.
The next dangerous archetype of financing is what I call the once a year.
The once a year.
The once a year.
I've been that. I've done that.
Can you imagine what that? That's mine. Sorry.
Okay.
That
in the
was
past.
in the past. That was mine. And I really realized when I started doing this work, this is the medicine I could have used for myself. So the once a year person, like it implies, and I'll just use a little graph, like does nothing throughout the year. Nothing out there. And then what happens? Tax time. Oops, now I'm really involved and tax has happened and then, no, I'm back to nothing again.
Got it.
So it's like this, in and out really quick.
I know a lot of people like that.
A ton of us are like that. And that was my heritage. That's what I saw and observed in my own family business. So that's the the dangerous archetype
And
I
I would
inherited.
think that archetype, part of what it breeds is stress.
Stress, unknown.
Yeah.
You're constantly worrying about, I mean, if you have this, if you're not even looking, how could you even have any sense of whether to know, should you be stressed or not?
But it's stressful that one time a year.
Yes, that's right.
Like that, because then it's like, you've got to do it, and you see all the things you ignored all year, so it creates even more desire to not deal with it.
Absolutely.
Right?
And you know that once a year is going to happen when? It's in that first quarter of the year. January, February, March of any year. And then so I can't enjoy it because I have to do all this work and I have to put all this time into it.
That's the best time to plan for your year and to really get moving and cracking 100%. And get a good start, so it can hold you back in a lot of other ways.
Don't you think so? Because oftentimes here you're focused on something that may put you into scarcity or remind you of what you haven't done. Whereas you can start the beginning of the year, like you said, energetically, where it should be excitement about what's coming next.
Right.
And so imagine that energy play going back and forth. It really sucks. It really is horrible. But the once a year really makes you fraught with danger.
Okay. Next.
Okay. The next one is what I call the denier.
Okay.
The denier is someone who would say something like, why is this important? Why do I care?
Yeah.
It's going well. I make money, no problem. So
They're
I'm just denying
the value or the importance.
The importance of being on top of their finances.
Okay.
It's just not important. And usually I see that with people who are skating by.
Okay.
They have a certain level of, we talked about comfort.
Comfort.
Okay, the next one, you ready?
Yeah.
The evader.
The evader. Ooh, that's really dangerous. That
could
get
dangerous.
You in jail, right?
Right. Now I'm not the IRS.
Right.
And I'm not talking about tax evasion. I'm
Okay.
using the term.
Oh, okay.
I'm using the term and saying, how often have you heard, like, I don't want to pay any taxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said it about 10 minutes ago.
Right. Now, again, no one should pay more taxes than they're supposed to. But a strategy which says, I'm going to do all I can to put all these expenses through the business, or
Okay.
in some cases, honestly, not report all the revenue. I see that a lot in cash-based businesses.
Yeah.
right?
I got a massage last night. They're like, can you pay cash? I was like,
There you go, right?
No, I'm using my credit card.
That's a part of it, right? And oftentimes it's not just the founder who's thinking that way. It's also the tax preparer who oftentimes is saying, I'll make sure you don't pay any taxes.
Oh man, I don't want
Right.
that tax preparer.
So there's both sides to this, right? It takes two to tango.
It does.
So the evader, the problem is they're just not thinking about why it's a problem. Forget the IRS for a minute,
Right.
but how it keeps them small.
Right.
It keeps them small. You're
does.
always going to be small if
Yeah.
you're not reporting income, or if you're not, talking about the.
Well, it reminds me kind of like I've gotten this question before from clients where they're like, how do I don't want to pay this 3% credit card fee. I'm going to do money wire transfers or ask for checks. I'm like, why would you do that? You make it so much harder for people to pay you. Just the 3% is a cost of doing business. Just
Correct.
eat it and move on.
Especially if it's easier for your client at the end
It's
of the day.
always easier for a client to pay with PayPal or a credit card.
And you might lose the sale because it's not easy for someone to do it.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's happened to me before. I'm like,
happened to me as well.
It's happened to me the other day. I was going to buy a juicer online, this discount juicing company or whatever, and they needed me to send a money transfer. Blah. I'm like, forget it. I'm going to this place where I can just
Yep.
put in my credit card number.
Yeah, and how many times have we had to chase down clients to pay us?
Yes.
Because they.
So the Evader,
Yes.
trying to get away from paying certain things,
Yeah.
it does keep you small because your
absolutely does.
focus is on scarcity versus on
It's 100% a scarcity mindset. And it doesn't need to be that way. It absolutely doesn't.
Okay.
Next one
Yeah.
is the lacker.
Okay.
The lacker. The lacker for me is that person who lacks confidence
Okay.
to even approach the subject of the management of business finances. So it goes back to what we were talking about limiting beliefs and money stories. This is the person, I'm not good with numbers.
Right.
I can't do this. This is all overwhelming.
It's never
to me.
enough.
That's right. All of those things. It's really an ongoing living with the limiting beliefs and the money stories. So they lack the capabilities. They lack the ability to go out and say, I need help, or I need
Right.
support, or building the finance team that they felt they could to get out of that problem.
It sounds like they just don't see opportunity.
They don't.
Anywhere.
They don't. It's often, again, all of these tend to be very short-term, narrow, fire putter outers. I
Yeah.
can only deal with what's in front of me.
Right.
It never has some sense of vision.
Right.
The last one
Okay.
is the shifter.
Okay.
The shifter is that person who says, okay, yeah, my finances are being managed, but my aunt, my wife, my daughter, my husband, my
Somebody
iguana.
else.
Yes, someone else is managing the finances. It isn't me. And here's the best part, well, and actually the worst part, I might not know what they're really doing.
Right. Right. This is where you end up with people saying, so and so siphoned money from my business for 10
Oh,
years.
yes, he took money, he's a horrible person. Well, were you watching?
Yeah. Well, maybe they are a horrible person, and ultimately
It could
the
be
buck
both.
stops here.
That's right.
know?
Again, it's what we go back to. When it's our business, when we sign a tax return, it's our responsibility for the integrity of this financial. So if we're shifting the responsibility out to
Right.
a relative, a trusted person, a bookkeeper, accountant, they may be misaligned with your objectives.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that shifting is dangerous, particularly in the way I see it show up is you yourself not only are misaligned, but you don't understand
Right.
your own business financials. Someone else might understand that line by line detail, but if you were quizzed, hey, what's this expense? Oh, I don't know.
Right.
That's a classic
Shifter.
So
Is that
what
all of them?
That's the 6. So what you have together is you have the minimalist, the once a year, the denier, the evader, the lacker, and the shifter. What are the letters? MODELS. You spell it out. These are all 6 models, which will never work for you because they're going to keep you small. They keep you in risk. It means the downside is ever present for you, particularly surprises. And worse than that, you're never going to be able to take advantage of all the upside and all the growth that you can uncover for your business.
Beautiful. Thank you, Keith. All right. If you see yourself in any of these personalities, I invite you to consider checking out Connecting with Keith. You can go to yourfinancingreview.com. Keith is the person that I recommend to all my clients whenever a client is evaluating their money situation or even their ability to pay for my own program, I connect them with Keith to help them, and he gives them an honest opinion about whether, you know, they really can do what they want to do, or if not, what kind of changes they need to make. So he can help you do that too, and it's free at yourfinancingreview.com. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, absolutely. Come to yourfinancingreview.com, schedule some time with me, and I'll give you a 2 to 3 year financing strategy that will help you focus on growth, and certainly will get you out from underneath these dangerous archetypes. So I can't wait to speak with you.